Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Nomaira Madiha binti Ahmad Batia, metric number AA190340. Today we will present about our final year project product, shuttlecock collector machine. I will explain about introduction. Sport help maintain the health of the body. One of the sport choice is playing badminton, but there is a problem that will burden the players because they need to pick up the shuttlecock that's scattered on the court floor at the end of the game. The old conventional way to pick up and stack the shuttlecock is by using hand manpower. It will require energy to collect and stack the shuttlecock back together, but the player already worn out after the game. That's why it is not only cost a lot of manpower, but it also delay the sport time. Now, as the time passed by, there is some shuttlecock collector has been built by some engineer and researcher. However, some researchers have focused on the theoretical research on how to pick up the shuttlecock without stack it in cylinder tube. There are some prototypes for the shuttlecock collector machine, but only focus on how to speed up in picking up the shuttlecock. In addition, it still requires energy and time to stack all the shuttlecock manually. At the moment, there are not many designs involve shuttlecock collector, both for domestic and foreign use. There are only tennis ball and golf ball collector. To innovate the existing shuttlecock collector machine, this project used other design and mechanism in addition to the example given. Although the concept seemed to be the same, the design seemed to use the same approach between different sizes, and it is likely the concept will also be different, meaning that the tool used are also different based on the objective of creation. For example, the shuttlecock collector use softer tools to prevent the shuttlecock from being squashed and damaged. So, our objective is to design and fabricate a model product for badminton player shuttlecock collector machine for training purpose. And our second objective is to design and improve the shuttlecock collector machine based on problem in existing product which are unable to stack the shuttlecock. Next, I will explain about the characteristic we want in our product. The characteristic we want in our product is to have a portable shuttlecock collector machine only suitable to collect shuttlecock on cement, woods and rubber surface badminton court only. Shuttlecock collector machine can stack 4 dozen amount of shuttlecock at one time, and the design of the improvisation shuttlecock collector machine will help the player to collect all the shuttlecock neatly in its container. And our next characteristic is we want to accomplish the best design improvisation shuttlecock collector to collect the shuttlecock without damaging the shape.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Ahmad Uzaifah, AA190159, and I will explain about the shuttlecock collector machine design. Okay, figure A is the main frame, which is made of aluminium where it is light in weight, durable and non-corrosive. The main frame is height 90 cm and it is average height for human waist level. For the width and length is 20 cm and 60 cm. The main function for the frame is to maintain the shape and receive push and pull force from the user. Figure B shows the barricade with a dimension of 20 cm of width and height of 5 cm. It is made of polypropylene, which is a thermoplastic. It is super light in weight and is suitable to be a barricade that will push the shuttlecock upwards. Figure C is the aluminium shaft with a diameter of 0.25 cm. The aluminium is used as it can withstand high tensile strength and will be hard to break. There is 2 shafts used in the shuttlecock collector machine to perform a belting process. Figure D shows the handle for the shuttlecock collector machine with a diameter of 5 cm made from aluminium. It is cylindrical shape and is the user to hold and push around the shuttlecock collector machine. Figure E is the pulley made from aluminium and is placed between the shaft to reduce the force needed to move the shuttlecock upwards. Figure F is the switch and DC motor that have 25,000 to 28,000 RPM. RPM is rotation per minute. These are two components that used to make the belting process move and connected to the shaft. Figure G is the 4 holes made on the mainframe of the shuttlecock collector machine with a diameter of 7 cm as a compartment to put the shuttlecock container. The container can be easily replaced and removed when it is full. Figure H shows the caster wheel made from rubber to ease the movement of the shuttlecock collector machine. There are 4 wheels used on it and it can make the user to turn around the shuttlecock collector machine easily. The rubber used is to provide floor protection and can be used for a long time. Figure I is the sweeper and also made of propylene, and it is water resistant and will collect the shuttlecock on the floor. Lastly, figure J is the flat brush that attached to the shaft. The brush is attached to the polypropylene and it will reduce the force needed to spin the shaft. The brush is used to prevent any damage to the shuttlecock. As the flat brush spin, the shuttlecock will be lifted up and transferred to the belting thread. Next, I will explain about the operation of the shuttlecock collector machine. First, push the shuttlecock collector machine around the court, and next, the sweeper will collect the shuttlecock on the floor. After the shuttlecock is collected by the sweeper, the flat brush shaft will transfer the shuttlecock to the thread. When the shuttlecock is on between the thread is moving continuously and will move the shuttlecock upwards to the container. When the shuttlecock reach the container, the shuttlecock will be dropped as the thread will be distance more and more at the height level. If the shuttlecock is in an upward position, the barricade will push the shuttlecock and make it into downwards position. When the shuttlecock drop into the container, it will drop in a downward position and stack in a downward position. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Atika Aisyah binti M. Kamal. Number matrix AA190027 will explain about the analysis and data that has been run for this project. So for the first analysis, we test the shuttlecock collector machine by taking the time when the machine collects 100 shuttles that scatters around the floor. We analyze the time for both methods, which is manually by hand and using the shuttlecock collector machine. So the result shows that this shuttlecock collector machine can save a lot of players' time. By average is 5.1 minutes, while the manual method's average is 8.6 minutes. The final result shows that our shuttlecock collector machine can reduce as much as 40.7% of the time needed to collect the shuttlecock. For the second analysis is to see that the shuttlecock collector machine can stack the shuttlecock into the cylinder tube. So the graph shows that the test 1 has successfully collect and stacked 94 shuttlecock, followed by test 2 has successfully stacked 96 shuttles, and test 3 has 93 stacked shuttles. all the data shown the successful average, which amount to 96% and 4% failed to start. The failure happened due to some shaking effect while pushing the shuttlecock collector machine around. The last analysis shows the percentage for amount of undamaged and damaged shuttlecock. The main reason for the damaged shuttles is caused by when the shuttlecock hit the sweeper and stuck between the sweeper and the floor. So for the test 1, the damaged shuttle is only 1. The test 2 and test 3 both has the same amount of 2 damaged shuttles. So all the data and analysis has successfully achieved all the main objective, which is to speed up the time when collecting the shuttlecock and prevent the shuttlecock's feather from being damaged. The existence of the flat brush is to protect the shuttlecock's feather when it gets picked up.